I think we are ready to go. Okay, wonderful. Then please give a big round of applause to Nicolas Leong from Wartsila. And we learn about beyond batteries, engineering power system balance for maximum renewable energy integration. Please.
So thank you, Thomas. Very great to be here. Well, we had a good panel, so I hope that you can bear with me for the next 50 minutes or so, where I can share with you more about what's beyond batteries. I think before the Vice Chairman Frank mentioned about that solar and batteries are good friends. Yes, they are BFF, best friends forever. But I would like also to share with you that there's another friend of solar and storage that I would like to share with you. So, according to BNEF, it's quite clear that in Southeast Asia, where we are today, there will be a lot of solar that will be added, a lot of wind that will be added from now until 2030. As you can see, countries such as the Philippines, Vietnam, and Malaysia are leading that race to add more and more renewable in the system. That's a fact, and we love renewable. We need more renewable because that's right now the lowest cost of electricity. But then you have some other people in the room, especially that person. Anyone know who is that person in the picture? That's the US Secretary of Energy under the Trump administration. And that was a tweet, X, that actually was posted last month. And it went very viral for many ways. Because I myself was very surprised to see such kind of comment coming from a government official that, if I quote, wind and solar energy infrastructure are essentially worthless when it's dark outside and the wind is not blowing. Why they say this is because Trump was blaming renewable for the increase of electricity tariff in the US. So that went very viral. I think even Elon Musk went to comment. It says, hello, question mark, and then showing that there are energy storage projects. So yes, there are energy storage projects that actually can help with storing those energy to provide the necessary flexibility, such as fast frequency response, grid forming capabilities, ancillary services, and managing the grid. So storage is there to help the renewable, no doubt about that. Now I would like to shift a bit your attention to what is also the best friend of solar and storage. So as you can see here this came from a report from BNEF, New Energy Outlook. And for them that they say that in order that power system globally to be flexible and reliable, you need both batteries and gas, peaker gas. And as you can see here, from now, 2025 to 2050, they are forecasting that battery, as you can see in pink, will be on the rise, but also gas peaker plant, because gas is also have a role to play. Gas peaker plant, they are not going to be base load. They are being peakers. So the capacity factor of those plants is around 30 to 40%. They are here to support renewable. They are here when the wind doesn't blow, when the sun doesn't shine. So it's going to help the energy transition. This comes actually, as you can see here, that was published few days ago. Many of us know that Australia is in Southeast Asia is championing the race to net zero. They are championing more and more renewable. And I will even say that South Australia is a bit of what we envision. It's like the crystal ball of the future, where some time back, even this year, they were able to run on 100% renewable. They are really championing that cause. But you can see here, however, AGL in South Australia, the utility, they have opened a tender for an 8 hours battery system, but also gas peaker. It's a bit back to square one. Why gas? Because they realize that battery alone is not enough. They do need a bit of peaking gas to be there to help them. So what we are trying to say here, ladies and gentlemen, that gas is also the good friend of solar and storage. So now I would like to share with you a scenario or a kind of a story about this gas storage and solar. How many of you have been to the F1 race in Singapore? Can I have a raise of hand? How many of you have watched F1 on TV? Right? I can see some fans here. So this is F1 happened just the night race in Singapore just happened a few weeks back. It was a very pulsating race. But now let's look at our own race, our race to net zero, what we are trying to achieve. So let me present to you the race to net zero, the ACE Cup, the ACE race, right? So let me introduce you to the racing team. So we have team number one. Team number one is powered by pure renewable. Very old, very iconic team. Very high performance in very ideal condition. But they are very dependent on the weather. And they might not perform well under adverse weather conditions. Team 2, they are powered by renewable and battery. Very innovative team. They believe into tactical deployment. They are very fast to respond to climatic change. And for them, they really can peak in the laps. And then team 3 is the team that is powered by variable renewable, BESS, batteries, and flexible engine. So that particular team, they have flexible gas engine with their modular motor generator unit, MGU, very fast ramping up and down with seamless torque delivery. But also they have dynamic load balancing. So these are the 3 teams that we have. Team number 1, team number 2, team number 3. And the colors, if it look like any existing team, this is just by pure coincidence. Huh? Okay, so now, ladies and gentlemen, we have 3 teams. Team 1, team 2, team 3. So the race begin. Let's see. So in the first sector, bright and breezy. Very ideal condition. Low cost renewable is leading the charge. So as a result, team number 1 being powered by renewable, zoom ahead, clear cut in the race. And of course, at the back, you have team number 2, team number 3 with slightly higher LCOE. They are lagging behind. And as you can see, on the right is the finishing line, the net zero that all of us want to reach. Okay, following me? Okay, so that's sector 1. Sector 2, oh no, suddenly the weather shifted. You have heavy rain, heavy downpour that always happen in Singapore in the afternoon. So what happened? So as the weather conditions shift, team 2 actually now take the lead because they do have battery energy storage that can react in milliseconds to give them the burst of acceleration that they can navigate through this turbulence. Well, Slightly behind, you have team number 3, where they're with their integrated hybrid system that they are still able to keep up, but still lagging behind. But then unfortunately, team number 1, they only have storage, no solar, so they are a bit behind and they are lagging because they don't have enough power. It's not doing well. So now the race continue, big fight to win the race. So let's see what happened. So suddenly the rain stopped, but then there are clouds, intermittent rain. So unfortunately, team number 1 barely moves. There's no sun. But while team number 2, they have drained out their batteries. No more batteries because they could not charge. There was no sun, right? So there is limitation in the power reserve. But then team number 3, because they have the flexible gas engine, it goes beyond the batteries. They were able to tap into that balancing power to basically help them when there was no wind, no sun, to push through the finishing line. And thus, this shows that you need also gas to help you to navigate in situations where there's no wind and solar. So the winner is team number 1, which is with renewable storage and engines. On the second podium, you have renewable and batteries. And on the third place is renewable only. So what I'm trying to show you here, ladies and gentlemen, is just a scenario, just a case to illustrate that you can easily understand why we need the right technology in the right place. We need to have the best of all worlds. We can't only go with solar and batteries. We need to also go beyond batteries. And this is where we are saying that gas is here to support. And on that, if we now turn into the real world from that story that I just told you, Singapore has a very ambitious plan to import 6 gigawatts of low-carbon energy by 2030. There are some requirements attached to that, which you are well familiar. So 75% load factor, and emission cannot be no more than 0.5 ton of CO2 per megawatt hour. So what we at Wartsila we have done, we actually have done some studies to compare 2 scenarios. So the first scenario that we have compared is, what if we want to import 1 gigawatt of low carbon energy into Singapore? And let's see what is the impact of adding firm dispatchable capacity to that system. So if we look at scenario number 1, in order to get 1 gigawatt of power, we will need to actually have 12 gigawatt of solar and 21 gigawatt of batteries. And you can see below what is the LCOE. But however, if we look based on our power system modeling that we have done using the software Plexos, for scenario 2 is the same thing, but we add a bit of gas, flexible gas into the equation. And as you can see, the solar capacity is reduced by almost 3 times lesser. Same goes for the storage. The emission is still in line with what EMA wanted to be, in line with this 0.15. But then what is most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, is the LCOE. Look at the LCOE. The LCOE is almost half. So over to you in the audience. Which one do you want? Scenario number 1 or scenario number 2? You want expensive, or like what Singaporean we want? We like cheap, cheap. I leave it to you. So, well, as we have seen, renewable is intermittent. We need flexible generation. There are actually also daily variation, which can be handled by batteries. Weekly fluctuation can be managed by flexible gas generation. And of course, when you have more seasonal, more longer duration, you can look at power to X to take care of this seasonality variation. Well, you may ask me, well, gas is still a fossil fuel. So for us at Wartsila, we are proud that we have already invested a lot of resources and R&D into launching the first world-scale 100% hydrogen-ready engine. It means that in the future, we will be able to burn 100% hydrogen in our gas engine so that we can prepare for future-proofing our technology, so that today we all know that it's not commercially viable to burn hydrogen, but when it's available in the future, we will be ready for that. So coming up to my final slide. So what we, Wartsila, we want to do, we actually want to support our customer in that race to net zero. We want actually to climb up the value ladder in terms of supporting you. I know it's a very busy slide, but let me explain to you using the race analogy. So we, Wartsila, we don't want to just be like in a race, the F1 race, to just be the equipment, just the car, supply the car or the batteries, right? That's level 2, right? To win a race. Race also, F1 race is not only won by having good mechanics supporting the drive. That's level 2. Level 3 is the software. It's like the driver, right? It's not about only the driver that can make. But what we also want to do, and what you can see many times in the F1 teams, it's also the next step. It's a strategy. It's actually like the race director, to be able to actually to plan the route, how the race can be won, the tactic, when to refuel, what tire to use, and so on and so forth. So we also would like to help customers partners in the energy ecosystem to actually use power system modeling to see what is the optimal mix of various technology to be able to achieve a certain net zero target by a certain timeline. And finally, also in races, you need to have partnership, you need to have sponsors, you need to basically help the team. So we also would like to partner with you to help you in making, let's say, better outcome-based agreement where basically it's a win-win situation for both parties. So what I'm trying to say here, we Wartsila would like to take all our capabilities to actually to help you to win your own race towards net zero, be it your company race or your own race in your own country. So on this, thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We have time for one quick question, if anyone has a burning question.
Thank you very much for interesting. Where do you store the gas? Where the gas is coming from? Because all of this is working very well, but as long as you have gas and access to gas, how do you do it?
So while we are talking about gas, this can be pipe gas or LNG. Did that answer a question?
So you have to build it where
Yeah,
there is such infrastructure, of course.
Well, I mean, gas, of course, you can have pipe gas, which is available, or you could have the LNG storage tank that is available on site. So what we are saying is gas is there as a backup, as a picking up to support the renewable. It will not run base load. It will run there in a smaller quantity as and when is needed.
On that note, I was always wondering, when we talk about like Ria province and we have the cable and we're talking about, everyone is talking about import, which is one directional. As a matter of fact, the cable can run in both directions. So if I was running a solar and battery farm in Bintam, Batam, you name it, what would stop me from, at night time, if there's excess peaking plants or gas power from Singapore available, I pump it back, charge my batteries, and use it at daytime as well. Has anyone modeled that? That would be, I mean, the infrastructure is already here. We have the gas plants anyway. You can probably, of course, it's eats into your 0.15 megaton budget a little bit. But if it's only peaks and vary at like this, whatever, January, February timeframe where you have 5 days in rain and not much sunshine, so you may as well run it backwards and partly recharge your batteries with existing infrastructure, which is already here in Singapore. Food for thought. Okay, thank you. Thanks
Thank you very
again.
much.